commend you for keeping this group going. And I really want to say thanks to every Democrat here and every Republican and our independents. We're at a very critical time. We all agree with that. It's been about 6 months since I've been here, but I want you to know I always think about this group. I have a lot going on with being a board member. I'm now a board member of URTV. It's now 1st of May. Of course, I'm entitled now an embattled board member. They asked me to sit on this board. I want to be real blunt with you real quick, and I'm going to try and make it short. They asked me to sit on this board, and whenever I was asked in a private room, they said, "Richard, all you got to do is show up and just vote the way we're going to vote, and everything will be fine." So I had to make a decision, was I going to be part of that or not? I said, absolutely not. So when I got on the board, luckily they had just appointed another female who happened to be a good, strong Democrat, and we chatted, and sure enough, she was asked the same question. And so we started thinking, well, why was this? So we started looking at the books, we started looking at the transparency issues, and we started asking questions. It's kind of like Carl Mumpower. When you ask a question, it illuminates that room. I'll use his terminology. And the cockroaches were run, or son, they ran. And so they pinned us as troublemakers, and they're trying to remove us from the board. Several different means. They attempted to throw us off, and it may succeed because they have the votes, and that's the bottom line. However, the issues that we brought up, they've had to go back to the county and have them sign a new resolution under the agreement that they're supposed to follow open board meeting laws. They're supposed to follow the agreement with the county and city as far as the funding going. They're supposed to provide it to be filmed. This is public access, but yet they don't want it filmed. And it comes down to the board's responsibilities. No wonder we can't have a board up in Detroit with car manufacturers. If you have the chairman of the board and he's put a bunch of cronies in there, they're going to go along with him because there's where the money is. Well, I illustrate that back to a simple kind of non-profit organization that gets some funding from the taxpayers, so therefore it's not. But if we can't even do it on a small board here in Buncombe County, how can they do it big? So we're in terrible shape. And if they vote me off, the way I look at it, I'll wear it as a badge of honor. And by the way, when they vote me off, it's not only going to be Democrats voting me off, it's going to be Republicans. And I hope them too. I do want to say one thing real quick about Trent Lott. The problem with Trent Lott was the media went after him, and there's where the downfall was. He would never happen had it not occurred, and I did want to point that out. And what's the best way to, I want to touch again on something you said about the third party. No, we already got it set in place. And I don't mean to be so partisan. The Republicans has principles. Carl Mumpower brought those out. And if we would follow those principles, we would succeed. But we cannot follow those principles. We won't follow those principles because we're so self-serving. And that goes with everybody, that for the most part. I'll stand with Carl Mumpower on that. We have the best tool to go ahead. It's the doggone people that we elect fail to do it. Exactly. And so that's what I want to be sure I point out that. And it is the best tool, because there's no way in my mind that the Democrats can. Now, I know there's some Democrats here, but whenever you line yourself up with pro-abortion and all this other stuff and socialism, well, you just right then counseled yourself. And I think most of the Democrats here are true conservatives, and they just want to be treated fair and be correct. And there's where our problem is. But going back to the URTV, I'm doing the best I can up there. If they kick me off, I remove myself from making videos because on the board I didn't want the executive director to be able to influence me and say, well, if you vote against me, I'm going to make it hard for you to program it. So I removed myself. I said, forget you. I won't produce anything, and I'll sit on the board, and there's nothing you can say. But, you know, they're having their fun. Now, you admit that I'm a little bit aggressive, but the problem of it is, folks, if we don't get aggressive at the bottom level of these boards, nothing's going to work. And that's where we're at today. You know, so, Peggy, again, I appreciate allowing me to speak. I really wouldn't plan on doing that. I wish I could be here more, but I will. And remember, It's going to take everybody, and yes, we will have to get behind a party. A third party just ain't going to make it, and that's my opinion, because the way the numbers look, it's going to be hard for a Republican to even win right now. Let me tell you why, because you got the Mexican vote, you got all sorts of issues that's coming on there. The media's behind this president. So you add all that up together, we're in a battle just to get a Republican elected, much less a third party. So there's where we are today. That's all I got.
Thank you, Richard.